Good evening. Welcome to the Cardinal View. I'm Sophia Ashley,
I'm Trisha Contreras.
And I'm Sarah Harris.
and tonight we'll be discussing Sprint Wireless Companies based in Overland Park, Kentucky. The reason that they're on the list to be a non existent company in 2017. Based upon Jim Collins' The Five Stages of Decline, Sprint appears to be in stage four, despite being on track to eliminate a substantial operating expense of 2.5 billion, and so far they've cut about 1.3. The most recent financials state that shares of 40 cents over the past fiscal year, which is better than the 80 cents that was predicted. The So far, Sprint has 200,000 that they've gained in customers from advertising and by bringing in the Verizon guy to fill in for their commercials. Ladies, why do you think Sprint is in such a disarray right now?
Well, I think that first and foremost, we do need to consider the fact that Sprint hasn't provided or produced a profit since 2006. Their financial reports also show that they're $30 billion in debt, 10 of which, 10 billion will be actually due within the next 3 years. Also, they work with two financing companies, the SoftBank and Brightstar. These companies don't show up on their report, and because of that, they're not considered in their financial report. If we were to consider these companies, that could actually bring their debt amount up to $51 billion.
And Sprint's only valued at 11.8 billion. They only have cash assets of 2.2 billion, which is almost equal to their 2016 debts. Their shares are only selling at $6.31 per share and have dropped 2.5% in the last just recent month.
And then out of the four major companies, they're actually ranked number 404. They're at the very bottom.
Wow. So I mean, why does this matter? Why does this matter for Sprint?
I think we need to consider the employees, not just the customers. Sprint has actually slashed their prices and also cut a lot of their executive team members out. They plan to cut or eliminate 2,500 more jobs. That'll bring their total unemployment rate up to really 4,000 people that no longer have jobs.
And they're selling junk bonds left and right. They sold some that come due in 2016. They sold more 10-year junk bonds in 2013. And then just recently on October 21st, they received $7 billion in 5-year junk bonds that were backed by mortgaging off assets to Spectrum, which in the long run, essentially, if they default, Spectrum will have acquired $16.4 billion of their network equipment for $7 billion.
Oh, wow. What do you think the contributing factors to this?
Well, I think there are some external factors that do take place. Of course, they took out a deal with Nextel that actually proved to not be in their favor. They lost millions of customers due to that deal, and this resulted in a loss of total of $37 billion. Now, with all these things going against them, they no longer have any available credit. Their credit is junk, and they're reaching out, they're borrowing at distress. They're distressed, trying to maintain their equipment.
And they had accounting distortions that showed up in their financials when they transitioned from the subsidies to the leasing programs. And this wasn't just with Sprint, but with all major carriers. And Sprint has a big misconception. Their customers have a misconception about the company. They don't think that their network is as reliable and as fast and as powerful as Sprint is advertising it to be.
Wow, they're definitely cheaper. What do you think the possible solutions?
Well, I know right now Sprint is currently planning to upgrade their system to a 2.5 gigahertz microwave network. That'll provide a faster, more reliable, heavy-duty network for their customers, and also it'll be an attempt to bring in some more potential customers. Also, with Spectrum being up for bids, Sprint chose not to participate in that because they wanted to keep their cash in order to improve their network as well as pay off some debts. Now, I do also know that Sprint is planning to lease out government property to place their towers on, as opposed to using the towers that they are now. If they make this switch, they'll actually save $1 billion. Now, looking at what they've done, what do y'all think? What are some suggestions we can provide to Sprint?
Personally, I think they should bring back subsidies with subsidy plans for you to purchase the phone at a discounted rate contingent upon a 2-year agreement.
And that'll actually show up as cash on their financials rather than it being an accounts receivable that they're receiving over time. So that always looks good in the financial statements.
There you go. And I also believe they should lease out the equipment, such as the towers and all, instead of mortgaging against what they already have. I mean, other carriers such as the lower end, like Cricket and Metro PCS, would love to, get a piece of that pie.
Oh, yeah.
So, and also my other issue with cell phone companies right now is the insurance plans. I believe instead of this high deductible, they should bring it to do a increasing deductible versus this high deductible that they currently charge people.
Right.
And they can use Radio Shack for that as well. That's one of their companies that they're over, and Radio Shack's not doing too well either. So implementing that in as their insurance company rather than outsourcing to Assurian, that would give them a chance to provide their own repairs, replacements, setting up equipment, and that kind of stuff that customers could get more conveniently.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, maybe we should go talk with Sprint. Thank you for tuning in to the Cardinal Review. I'm Sophie Ashley.
I'm Trish.
I'm Sarah. Tune in next time.